Hey there, kiddos. It's Mr. King. I'm coming at you live from my house to be able to teach you some cool drawing tips. I haven't gotten a chance to do a lot with you younger guys, but this is really the kindergarten lesson right here. And I'm going to teach you guys how to make a cool T-Rex style dinosaur like the one I'm showing you right here. But I want to show you that it's really, really easy to draw if you follow some steps and you break this dinosaur down into geometric shapes. And what geometric shapes mean, if you remember, we talked about shapes in class, guys, that there's basic shapes. You guys know that we have the circle, the square, the triangle, the rectangle. And there's even some more complicated shapes up in there that we can get into. We can even do things like stars and things like that, but we're only going to really be using these shapes in our drawing for our T-Rex. I'm going to show you how to combine them and to make some really cool things. The only other skills you really need are to be able to draw a curved line like I've just done right there, and to be able to make another curved line that joins up on one of the sides. Basically what I'm talking about is making like a crescent moon or a banana shape without attaching the other end. Okay, that's what we're going to use for the tail and the claws and the feet. Alright? So, if you can, ask your parents, say, hey, can I have a pencil, because pencils are really important, and a piece of good paper to use for a drawing. And if you do, find something you can color with, crayons or markers, but if you can't, no big deal. Pencil will still be fine. Okay, guys, so if you're ready to go, I am going to start a brand new little canvas right here, and we're going to draw it from the very beginning. So the very first thing you're going to do is somewhere near the middle of your paper, you are going to draw a decent sized rectangle. Now, if you're remembering what a rectangle is, it is two sets of parallel lines with two of them longer than the other two. Alright, looks like that. It's basically a square that's longer on one set of sides. So, there's my rectangle. That is actually going to be the head of my dinosaur. The next part that I'm going to do is going to be a triangle. But this is going to be a little bit of a weird triangle. What I want you to try to do is to make a triangle that kind of leans more to one side. And here's what I'm going to show you. It's going to lean more to the left. The left is this way. So I'm going to have my triangle come out pretty far on that side. Okay, bring the line along the bottom here. And then it's going to come back up near the corner of my rectangle. Now I don't actually need to attach them together. That's okay. And when you're doing this drawing, please draw lightly because you're going to need that eraser. We are going to erase some of these lines. If you are using oil pastel to color in, you don't have to worry too much about it because oil pastel is basically going to cover up your pencil. All right? The next step, and remember we're going to erase these, so draw lightly, we are going to draw a decent sized circle down here on that lower right hand part of our triangle. So there's my circle. Now remember I told you we're going to be erasing part of that. So in a minute I'm going to show you exactly how and why, but just we're going to come back to that in a second. The next part, we're going to add the tail onto the back of our dinosaur. You might not be able to see it yet, but he's starting to come out here. So the thing we're going to do is in the bottom left-hand part of the triangle, we're going to make a curve that comes up. Now you can make that as long as you want the tail to be, so you can make a really long tail if you want to. And then we're going to make another curve that follows the same curve coming back down, but it's going to not join back together. The bottom's going to be a little wider, and that's going to be our tail. Okay, now if I'll back it up once and I'll show you too, if you make that really wide, you can have a nice big wide tail, and that looks totally fine too. Alright, okay, we're really getting close here, and you guys don't even realize it. So the next thing is I'm going to work on the toes, the claw kind of feet of my dinosaur here. So over here, on the right side of my circle, I'm going to make 1, 2, 3 lines coming off of it, like that. It looks kind of like bird feet, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a flat line from those curves back to the circle. Pretty nice. And then we got to do the arm. And the arm's going to be pretty easy too. All you're going to do is over here, and I can kind of draw a little arrow. I'll erase these later. You're going to do kind of a really, really wide V, like that. And you're going to do another wide V above it. And you're going to leave the end of it open, because that's going to be his little arms. And then we're going to do the 1, 2, watch this, we're going to put one curved line floating in the middle. And that is because when we connect these together, Those are going to be the clawed hands. Now you can see that right here, where I did the claws on the end of the hands, it was like a little sloppy, you know, the lines are a little too thick to see the fingers there, but I really don't mind that because you can still kind of tell it's there. So don't get way too hung up on perfection, okay? So let me just erase that arrow so you guys can see my drawing a little better. All right, we're almost ready for the eraser. The last things we're going to need to do is at the bottom of our circle here, we are going to make a curved line from our triangle down to our feet. Okay, that toe at the very bottom. Don't worry about anything else yet because the eraser hasn't come in. And then we're going to go up to our rectangle again, and we are going to curve those corners. The only corner you don't need to curve is the one at the top of the triangle. Okay? Now, we're about to get into the fun stuff. We're going to erase, and then we're going to add our details. Okay? So, bust out that eraser, get ready, because the first thing we are going to do, after I erase these arrows, to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing, is I'm going to erase the corners of my rectangle. Whoop. And remember, if you can't erase every bit of the line perfectly, it's really not a big deal. Okay? You're going to color over it most likely, or add a little bit of shading or something else that will really make it so people don't notice that erased line. Alright? So we got those curved edges and we got rid of them. And if you're like me, you might erase a little too much. You can always go back in with your pencil and redo some of your lines. So you guys can see I'm kind of redoing those to make them a little smoother. And that's totally fine. You can do it with your real pencil too. And then I'm also going to erase down here at the neck. Okay? So I'm going to erase right through the edge of my rectangle here so that my rectangle and my triangle become one big shape. Alright? Next, we're going to erase that little line by the arm. So we're going to use our eraser. We're just going to erase into it so now my arm joins the rest of my shapes. You guys can see we're just joining these shapes together. Next, let's do the tail. So we're going to erase this diagonal line right here between the triangle and the curved lines of the tail. And then after that, this is the hard one, the legs. Now basically, here's the thing. I would actually start from the bottom here, and we're going to erase this curved line up until we kind of hit the triangle, and then down here until we hit the curve that goes into the feet. And we do that first because this next part, we're going to erase all of the inside lines here going all the way down out to the toes. So let me show you what that looks like because it's harder to explain than it is to show. I'm going to erase that line, I'm going to erase this line, and I'm going to erase these little lines here by the toes, and a little bit of the front of the toes there, just to make it look like it's all one big piece. So I think you guys can really see this is now basically a dinosaur. Now we get to add the details, and the details are what really makes this, okay? So I like to give my dinosaur a little happy smile. So what I'm going to do is to do the smile, I'm actually going to come all the way up, boop, right over here, and I'm going to make a little dot. It's going to be most of the way in on my rectangle, all the way over towards the left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of smile that a little bit right here, just kind of a little half smile. I'm going to add those big teeth, because we're going to make this guy into, obviously, a T-Rex. Pretty good. Let me erase that arrow so you guys aren't distracted by it. And then I'm going to go over to the end over here, and I'm going to add a nice, decent sized darkened in circle for the nostril. Let me erase that arrow. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the, kind of like a mark right there to make sure you can kind of see where the nostril pokes up a little bit. I like how that looks. You don't have to do it that way. And then let's do the eyeball. The eyeball is going to be right here near the beginning of the smile. So let me erase that arrow and then I'll show you what I mean. And we're going to make it pretty big. We're going to give this dinosaur kind of a cutesy eyeball. So we're going to give him a big eye. And here's the thing. When I create this eye, and I will actually do this, I'll back it up and I'll show you because it's a little easier to show just with the circle first. Just draw the circle. What I want you to do is to draw two smaller circles inside of that. 1, 2. Okay? And then you guys probably know this. I told you how to make those cool shiny eyes that look a little kind of cutesy that way. And you darken in the rest and boom. Oh, my cute T-Rex. So, we're not quite there with all the details we want to add. I like to add a little bit of kind of this tiger striping peeking out on his back, and that just looks like triangles on his back. You can go have those go right down the tail if you want to. And then really adding color is going to be the main thing here. Now, I will push this one step further. If you are someone willing and daring and really want to do something cool, what you can do is you can make your dinosaur look more 3D. And how do you make it look like it's actually 3D, 3 dimensions? It's got depth, it's got height, and it's got width. Well, we can add another arm and another foot to make it look like it's overlapping behind. So what we can do is we can do another wide V right down here by his arm and recreate these hands here. And there's going to be a little overlapping, so you got to let one kind of be in front of the other. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing with the curve of the leg and just one or two of those toes. Okay? And that gives it that look like it's actually 3D, which is really, really cool. So then I can get rid of this arrow now because you guys know where I was doing it. And now let's just add some color, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a nice, awesome green from, you know what, whoa, my last dinosaur is green. Let's go orange. Let's be weird here, okay? I'm thinking dinosaur train, you know what I mean? So I'm going to add the little orange right there. I'm going to make my orange just a little darker. Maybe I'd even choose a red if I was using markers or colored pencils to do the stuff that's, the stuff that's behind the two arms and legs that are giving it a little bit of depth, because that'll make it look like it's in shadow, which you can do. And then the last thing is I'm going to add, let's do a brown here for those stripes. And I don't know, what do you guys think for a background color? I like all these warm colors. Let's choose like a vibrant, like pink background, okay? And so I would encourage you guys to draw a background, make an awesome background with a volcano and stuff like that if you want to. It's just up to you what you want to do, but at the very least, add some color for your backgrounds. It really makes, watch this, watch how much of a difference it makes. Boom, makes everything look a lot more kind of interesting, colorful. I'm actually going to make mine, make it a little more reddish. I don't know, I just like that better. There we go. And let me just fill in these couple little spots here that I missed. I'm using my computer, so I'm kind of cheating here and doing it really fast. And you guys have to take a little longer with your coloring materials, but I think this ends up looking pretty cool. You know, nice little dragon. Nice little dinosaur, excuse me, T-Rex. Maybe it's an Allosaurus. If you watch Dinosaur Train, maybe you know what I'm talking about. Hi! And that's really it, guys. That's how you do it. So I will catch up with you next time for another little drawing tutorial. I want to do one outside, but the weather's just not cooperating, so I'll show you a really cool trick with sidewalk chalk that you might already know or you might not. But I will be posting more videos for you youngsters, okay? So keep drawing. Go ahead and send me pictures of your drawings. That'd be awesome. I would love to see what you guys are up to. Send them through your teachers. Send them to my email. Any which way you want to. All right? Get your parents' help, obviously, to get that done. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you're all doing really well and that I get a chance to see you soon, because I miss you. All right? Bye-bye.